So this guy, Michael Simmons, wrote this really interesting article, The Brutal Truth About Reading. If you don't take notes right, you'll forget nearly everything. And the reason why I'm going to take this article pretty seriously, this guy has 66,000 followers, best-selling author, and he contributed to Time, Fortune, Harvard Business Review. I read it. Sounds really good. Guy seems to know what he's talking about. He's an influencer on medium.com. I'm going to take this seriously. He basically talks about how he wanted to make a note-taking system that could help him be a better learner and writer. Now I'm going to be a better learner and I'm going to be making videos instead of writing. That is my go-to. I could write, but I much prefer video format. You can do a lot more with it. I could even turn it into a transcript and have it in written form, but you can't do the other way around. You can't take your written, make it into a video, but you can take your video, make it into audio, make it into writing, and keep it as video. So I'm going to go for the video one. Plus, I want to do YouTube. So here we go. So this guy has made multiple six figures from just his notes, right? I read enough and listen to enough to at least attempt this. While there are many articles and books on how to take private notes better, I found almost nothing on how to take better public notes. So that's the key here, is taking notes, but letting them be public. And this is what I'm doing right now. I want to make the things that I'm learning public. Here it is. Here's the video. So I thought I'd share my top insights, public note taking. I like the idea of sell your sawdust, right? This is basically, I'm reading this article anyway. Now I'm going through this a second time because it's my first rodeo, but in the future, I'm going to be going through and showing my reactions and learning as I'm making the video. And then I'll edit it maybe after, maybe just clip out the best parts that I want to remember. Create research templates. I haven't really looked into that much. Notion's awesome. I'm using a program called Descript where it takes out all my ums, all my ahs, and I can edit it from the text. It's really cool. We'll go over that sometime. But that is a game changer. And that's why I also am very excited about making videos. Breaking notes to atomic units. I absolutely love that part. I'm going to go over that in more detail. This is just more of a broad video right now. Maybe I'll dive deeper into that. I actually probably should. Let's actually go down to number 6. So your sawdust, that's basically like leftovers, right? Everybody throws out their leftovers and throws out. You're done with the book, it collects dust on the shelf. What about all those things that you have bouncing around in your brain? How long does it take to just regurgitate that and sell that? And the lumber mill has all the sawdust and they used to throw it out. And now they sell it and make money from it. Okay, let's go to number 6. Here we go. Databases. This is about Notion. It's at number 6. Okay, so this is really cool. So he made a page for each keyword, a page for each resource, a page for each person. So every article that or everything that he learns with Notion, rather than a research brief or mental model manual being a 90-page document, I could break it up into dozens of unique pages. So keyword, resource, and person. So he made a database, which can't necessarily do with videos. Maybe you can, right? But there's modularity, right? If I have a keyword that's in here and I update that in my database, that would work if I'm taking notes in Notion. It wouldn't work with video. That is a drawback, but this is a much more accessible form of learning, I think. Go for a different audience, and I'm doing it for me. But I do love that. Imagine I made a video on just the ways that I would want to take notes in video form. Maybe the resources I would use on how to document myself throughout the day and how I'm learning. And then all the keywords that are coming up, how to break things down into atomic units. Maybe something on Michael Simmons, right? For each person, break down him and why I trust and want to read his stuff, so on and so forth. So I could see making a video on why you should listen to Michael Simmons, why you should read Michael Simmons, or the top 10 things to learn from Michael Simmons. Make your notes default public. That's basically what I'm doing right now. I feel like I want to be able to articulate what I'm learning, and that is part of the learning process. If you can't express what you think, you don't really know it, right? If you can't verbalize it or write it, you really don't know it. And that's one thing to verbalize it, and then it's another thing to actually put it into action and execute on it. And the step in that direction is actually expressing that verbally and or in written form. Value for future self. Again, I can look back on this, and one, it's going to help me remember this better. So this article is something I want to implement in my life. So in order to do that, I need to remember it. And I'm making this video as like a stamp on my brain that I want to remember, I want to do this. And also I am sharing it publicly so that others can get the benefit from it as well and maybe join me on my journey. Start by sharing as you learn on social media. So these are really things like imposter syndrome. Are my notes good enough to be shared with others? Or is it what I'm learning valuable to others? I'm the one learning here, but at the same time, I am reacting and providing value and directing people to this. Get started. Take your notes into assets that build your authority and audience. Let's do it. Ah, the free challenge. That's interesting. Up, crypto's down. Anyway, hopefully that was helpful. So basically from this, I'm going to start curating and going over things that I've read, things that I am reading, things that I'm listening to. I'm going to react to them, cut out some stuff. And yeah, maybe the next one I'll do a lot of the podcasts I'm listening to and what I removed. I unsubscribed from to a lot of stuff lately, and it's actually made me a lot more productive. Yeah, I think that's it. I hope this was enjoyable or educational at the very least.